Scene script. Ever wondered why self-care often sounds like an expensive spa day? It's like one moment you're sitting on your couch, contemplating life, and the next, you're booking a gold-infused facial that costs as much as your monthly rent. But hey, it's self-care, right? Picture this. You're down to your last dime, and the universe, in all its infinite wisdom, whispers, "Get a massage." So you do. You spend your last bit of hard-earned cash on a masseuse named Sven, who's got hands like a lumberjack and the soothing voice of a Norse god. You leave the spa feeling like a noodle, but hey, at least you're a relaxed noodle with no money for groceries. But who needs food when you've got inner peace? And then there's the luxury goods. The allure of that shiny new watch or that designer dress. It doesn't matter that you're eating instant noodles for the third night in a row. You're doing it in style, darn it. And let's not forget about those shoes that cost as much as a small country's GDP. Who cares if they give you blisters the size of golf balls? Pain is beauty, and self-care is apparently financial ruin. But here's a radical thought. What if self-care wasn't about spending money you don't have? What if it wasn't about equating relaxation with a price tag? What if, and bear with me here, what if self-care was just about taking care of yourself? Mind-blowing, I know. It's about acknowledging your worth and giving yourself permission to experience joy and satisfaction. It's perfectly okay to treat yourself. These little acts of self-kindness can be powerful. They are not an escape from reality, but rather a bridge to a more positive state of mind. So self-care doesn't have to mean selling your kidney for a spa day. Good news, right? And remember, that watch you've had your eye on? It's not going anywhere. It'll still be there when you're not risking bankruptcy to own it. So take a deep breath, relax, and for the love of all things holy, put down the credit card. Self-care is about nurturing your inner self, not sending your bank account into cardiac arrest. So, you've decided to invest in yourself, but what does that even mean? Well, let's take a stroll down the comedy lane of self-investment misunderstandings. Picture this. There's a guy, let's call him Bob. Bob hears about this whole invest in yourself concept and decides, hey, I'm going to buy stocks in my own name. Bob, my friend, that's not quite how it works, unless you're a publicly traded entity, which let's face it, you're probably not. Then there's Sally. Sally hears about investing in herself, and she gets the bright idea to start a business. Great, right? Except Sally doesn't have a plan, a product, or even a vague concept of what her business will do. She just knows she's the CEO of something. Sally, darling, that's not self-investment, that's a comedy sketch waiting to happen. And don't even get me started on Tim. Tim decided to invest in himself by purchasing a gold-plated toothbrush because apparently his teeth deserve the best. Now, while his teeth gleam like a disco ball, his bank account weeps in despair. These stories, funny as they may be, highlight a common misunderstanding. Investing in oneself doesn't mean buying stocks in your own name, starting aimless businesses, or splurging on gold-plated toothbrushes. Investing in yourself is about nurturing your self-confidence, personal growth, and happiness. It's about buying that shirt that makes you feel like $1,000,000, or that watch that reminds you of your worth every time you glance at it. It's about treating yourself to experiences that enrich your soul, broaden your horizons, and fuel your personal evolution. Investing in oneself is about acknowledging your value and giving yourself permission to embrace joy and satisfaction. It's about making choices that contribute to your well-being, bolster your confidence, and empower you to strive for greatness. So, investing in yourself isn't about owning the most shares in You Inc. It's about building that confidence, or at least not losing it. After all, confidence doesn't come with a gold-plated toothbrush. Now does it, Tim? Ever bought something ridiculous and useless just because it made you happy? Let's take a moment to dive into the realm of hilarious anecdotes about people buying seemingly pointless things that brought them joy. Picture this. A guy, let's call him Bob, was having a bit of a rough week. He was juggling bills, work stress, and a particularly stubborn jar of pickles. One day, he stumbled upon a rubber duck that quacked the tune of his favorite song. It was ridiculous, it was pointless, but it made him laugh. He bought it, and every time he squeezed that duck and it sang out of tune, he couldn't help but smile. Or how about Susan? Susan had a thing for funky socks. The louder the pattern, the better. Did she need another pair? Probably not. But when she saw those socks with dancing pineapples, she couldn't resist. And every time she put them on, she felt a little spark of joy. Then there's Steve. Steve, who had a tight budget but saw a snow globe in a thrift store. It had a tiny dinosaur inside, and for some reason, that made him happy. He bought it, and every time he shook that snow globe, he felt a sense of peace. What do Bob, Susan, and Steve have in common? They all found joy in frivolous spending. It's not about the rubber duck, the pineapple socks, or the dinosaur snow globe. It's about the laughter, the spark of joy, the sense of peace. In the grand scheme of things, these purchases might seem pointless. But let's be honest, when life gets tough, sometimes you need that rubber duck, those pineapple socks, or that dinosaur snow globe. Being financially responsible is important, of course, but sprinkling in a little frivolity can make the journey a lot more enjoyable. It's about understanding that it's okay to spend on things that might not make sense to others, but bring joy to you. So, buying that life-size cutout of your favorite celebrity might not be as pointless as it seems, especially if it makes you smile. Ever noticed how a new outfit or watch can make you feel like you can conquer the world? Let's take a walk through the land of imagination and explore some amusing scenarios to illustrate this point. Picture this, a guy named Bob, an accountant by day, and well, also by night. He's not known for his fashion sense, unless you count wearing mismatched socks as a style statement. One day, Bob decides to buy a vibrant electric blue suit. The moment he puts it on, he feels like he's been infused with the power of 1,000 calculators. At his next meeting, he's crunching numbers faster than a computer, throwing out financial jargon like confetti, and his presentation? Let's just say it was the pièce de résistance. The blue suit, my friends, wasn't just a suit. It was Bob's ticket to feeling like a mathematical superhero. Now, let's move on to another scene. Meet Sally, a high school teacher who has a passion for punctuality. She's been eyeing a sleek, silver wristwatch for months. When she finally buys it, she feels an inexplicable surge of confidence. The next day at school, she's strutting down the corridors like she's on a fashion runway. Her students are captivated by her newfound energy. She commands the classroom like never before. And the watch? Well, it just keeps ticking, marking Sally's transformation from a humble teacher to a time-taming tigress. These absurd, exaggerated tales may seem silly, but they underline a profound truth. Confidence can indeed be a catalyst for success. It can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary, the mundane into the magnificent. It's not about the material objects, but the feelings they evoke within us. It's about the power they have to make us feel good about ourselves, to make us feel invincible. So that flashy watch might not tell time any better than your old one, but if it makes you feel like a superhero, who cares? All right, let's go through what we've learned today, but with a twist of humor. First off, we discovered the art of broke self-care. It's like a Picasso painting, but instead of using expensive paints, we're using the change found in our couch cushions. And hey, Picasso didn't paint his masterpieces overnight. So, don't stress if your self-care masterpiece looks like a toddler's finger painting at first. Next, we dived into the comedy of errors. This isn't just about laughing at our mistakes. It's about turning our financial blunders into stand-up comedy gold. Remember, even the best comedians started with a few bad jokes. So don't worry if your first attempts at financial management are as laughable as a rubber chicken at a funeral. Then we explored the joy of frivolous spending. It's like being a kid in a candy store, only this time you're an adult in a thrift store, and the candy is a second-hand watch. Just remember, it's not about the price tag. It's about the feeling of joy when you unwrap that thrift store find like it's a golden ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. We also learned about the confidence catalyst. Think of confidence as the secret ingredient in your life's recipe. Without it, you're just a bland soup. But add a dash of confidence, and suddenly you're a spicy chili that's got everyone talking. And remember, confidence isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling good, even if that means wearing a feathered boa to a business meeting. And now, we've arrived at the end. But before we go, let's remember the most important lesson of all. The value of self-care isn't measured in dollar signs. It's measured in the smiles you see when you look in the mirror, even if you're wearing that ridiculous hat you love. And there you have it. Self-care isn't about breaking the bank. It's about boosting your confidence, even if it means buying that ridiculous hat you love. Remember, you're worth it.